Have you ever heard of a get-out-of-jail card that you can actually buy? No, this isn't a game of Monopoly. It's a real fascinating provision in the Indian Penal Code. We're talking about Section 68, a law that basically says a prison sentence can just stop once a fine is paid. So let's break down how this incredible exit clause really works.
So let's just jump right into the big question here. Imagine you're sentenced to jail time, specifically because you couldn't pay a fine. Are you just stuck there for the whole term, even if you or your family somehow find the money later? You might be surprised to hear that the answer is a clear no. And it's all thanks to this one specific section of the law. All right, here's our game plan for today. First, we'll set the scene with a really common scenario. Then we'll dive deep into Section 68 itself, see how it actually plays out in the real world, connect it to a couple of other important laws, and finally, we'll talk about why this is such a critical piece of the entire justice system. Okay, to really get our heads around the impact of this law, let's start with a story. This is the kind of situation that, believe it or not, happens in courts all across India pretty much every single day. So let's imagine a guy named Ravi. He's been found guilty of a pretty minor offense, maybe a small theft. Nothing too serious. And now the court is about to decide his fate. So the judge hands down the sentence, and it's got two parts. First, 3 months behind bars for the actual crime. But on top of that, there's a monetary penalty, a fine of 10,000 rupees. And here's where it gets complicated. What if Ravi just doesn't have the money? 10,000 rupees might as well be $1 million. He simply can't pay. So what happens then? Does the court just say, oh, well, never mind? Absolutely not. The legal system has a plan for this. If Ravi fails to pay that fine, he gets handed additional jail time. Now, this is really important. This extra time isn't an extension of his original sentence. It is a completely separate penalty just for not paying the money. All of a sudden, things just got a lot more serious for Ravi. So Ravi's in a really tough spot. But this is where our key player, Section 68, enters the picture. While other laws created this problem for him, Section 68 offers a clear, unambiguous way out. You know, the law itself is remarkably simple. It says the jail time for not paying the fine terminates. It ends. It's over the very moment that fine is paid. It's not up for debate. It's an automatic off switch for that part of the sentence. This tells you that the only reason for this extra jail time is to get the person to pay up, not to punish them more. Think of it like this. Section 68 gives a person a right of redemption. It's a chance to settle the financial score and, in doing so, reclaim your freedom. It's really about a fundamental principle of fairness. Once your debt to society is paid, the punishment tied to that debt has to stop. Okay, so that's the theory. But what does this actually look like for Ravi? How does he use this right of redemption to get out of jail? So picture this. A month has gone by. Ravi has been serving that extra sentence for not paying the fine. In the meantime, his family has been scrambling, borrowing, doing whatever they can, and they finally scraped together the 10,000 rupees. The key has been found, and the process from here is a super clear 4-step path to freedom. First, the family pays the 10,000 rupee fine. Second, the court or the jail authorities get confirmation of the payment. Third, and this is the magic part, Ravi's extra sentence ends immediately. And that means step 4, he is released from prison. It's as simple as that. Now, what's interesting is that this can happen in 2 different ways. The most common way is what we just saw with Ravi, a direct payment from him or his family. But the law is smart. It also says that if the court manages to recover the money on its own, say by seizing and selling some of Ravi's property, the effect is exactly the same. The moment the government gets its money, that default prison sentence is over. Okay, but here's where it gets really interesting. Section 68 isn't working in isolation. It's actually part of a legal trio, a team of 3 sections that work together to create a surprisingly fair system for handling all of this. So, take a look at this. Section 67 is what sets the maximum amount of time someone can be jailed for not paying. Section 68, our star player, is the all-or-nothing rule we've been talking about. Pay the whole fine, get out now. But then you have Section 69, which adds this fantastic layer of fairness for partial payments. Let's go back to Ravi one last time. Let's say his extra sentence for non-payment was 4 months long. Now, what if his family could only come up with 7,500 rupees? That's 75% of the total fine, right? Well, under Section 69, his sentence gets reduced by 75%. He would only have to serve 1 month, or 25% of the term, and then he'd be released. It's a system designed to be proportional and fair.
So, at the end of the day, why should we care about this old law? Why does Section 68 and its neighbors still matter so much today? Well, their importance goes way beyond just one person's case. At its very core, this law is a crucial safeguard. It makes sure that punishments don't become excessive. It balances the need for a penalty with a sense of fairness. It gives people a real chance to fix their mistake. And, practically speaking, it helps reduce the massive burden on our overcrowded prisons. It's a clear signal that our justice system values reform, not just punishment. And really, that brings us to the whole point of knowing all this. A source we looked at put it perfectly. The goal is to make you knowledgeable, and through that knowledge, to empower you. Understanding a right like the one in Section 68 isn't just an academic exercise. It's a real tool that helps make sure the system works fairly for everyone. And this isn't just a nice idea. The courts have come down hard on this. In the big Sheikh Khadar case, the High Court made it crystal clear. Keeping someone in jail for even one single day after their fine is paid is a direct violation of their fundamental right to personal liberty, period. Once the money is paid, the legal reason to hold them is gone. And all of this leaves us with one final big question to think about. What is the real point of punishment in our legal system? Is it just about penalizing someone? Or is it also about giving them a chance to correct their course, a chance for redemption, a chance for reform? The fact that a law like Section 68 exists strongly suggests the answer is, and always should be, a balance of both.